The New York Times is out with the results of a new focus group, the outlet speaking with 13 undecided independent voters about the 2024 presidential election and top voter issues. 11 of the 13 voters said that they were leaning toward former President Donald Trump over President Biden. According to the New York Times, most of the voters' comments indicated they, quote, did not feel they were in good hands with Mr. Biden. And they did not trust that they would be, using words like senile, unfit, and disingenuous to describe Joe Biden. While the group viewed Mr. Trump negatively, some people suggested that the country was on its toes more with him in office. This, as new Fox News polls show, independent voters in swing states Michigan and North Carolina also favor Trump over Biden. 43% of independent voters in Michigan said that they favor the Republican frontrunner, compared to 34% who say they favor Biden. In North Carolina, 48% of independents say that they support Trump. 37% are backing Biden. New polls this morning, Kayla. Your reaction?
Well, this confirms what has been very clear over the past several months, which is that Trump is dominating in these battleground states in a way that he never has before. In fact, Joe Biden is actually running lower than behind where Hillary Clinton was at in 2016. So he's doing worse than Hillary was at this point in the 2016 race, which is pretty stunning. Now, the thing that I think that Republicans need to be on their guard here is we're looking at some of the results that have just come from the New York special election. Biden is doing very badly in the polls, and yet the Democrat candidate in that race was still able to win. I look at Michigan, which is where I'm from. Gretchen Whitmer is about 10 points more popular than Joe Biden is. So the warning here is that we can't overestimate Trump's appeal, even if he is doing well in the polls, because what we've seen over the past couple of cycles is that no matter how unpopular Joe Biden gets, no matter how much voters say that they disapprove of the way he's running the country, many of them still vote for Democrats. Many of them still say that they support people like Gretchen Whitmer. So we can't overestimate Trump here. I think that he's much stronger than he was back in 2020, but there is a bit of a warning in there in the polls for Republicans.
Well, we can't underestimate what lengths the Democrats will go to undermine Donald Trump. I mean, the hatred is so severe. We've got a new Gallup poll, though, that finds immigration and the economy are the two leading issues, the reasons Americans disapprove of President Biden's job performance. The poll finding 54% of Americans disapprove of his job performance, while just 41% say they approve. 47% of those voters disapprove, citing policy issues. 19% said that immigration and the open border is why they disapprove of the Biden presidency. 9% pointed to the economy, as Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen claims Americans are confident in the economy despite mounting layoffs and inflation. Here's what she said yesterday. Watch.
This speaks to people feeling increased confidence about their economic situations and about the economy. There's no better way to judge whether people feel optimistic than whether they'd start a small business. You just don't do that if you don't feel like things are getting better.
Mark, it's a fair point about small business, but at the end of the day, we're seeing all this money sloshing around. It's fiscal stimulus, and that's been the one key for consumers.
Yeah,
that's going to go away at some point.
It is, and it's, in fact, it's already going away for lower-income consumers, because lower-income consumers, they rely on the forced savings vehicle of tax refunds, which isn't the most intelligent thing to do, but that is what they rely on, and tax refunds are already down 50% year over year through the first 2 weeks of tax filing season. When you look at the economy, obviously, inflation has been one of the biggest issues. Wages haven't kept up with inflation. Housing's unaffordable. So there's a number of issues with the economy. But it also seems like the American people in general are getting sick and tired of President Biden and this administration insulting our intelligence.
Yes.
How dare you go and put together a Super Bowl commercial talking about shrinkflation?
Yeah.
You created this.
Right.
It's your doing. I don't care if your ice cream carton got smaller. That's your fault.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the worst and the most ludicrous of all was the other day when Joe Biden came out and he said, well, now every day until Election Day, people will know that the border is open because of Trump.
Yeah.
What?
MAGA Republicans.
Or blaming corporations.
Do you think we're that moronic?
Yeah, or the constant need to blame corporations for the price increases, as if it was not his policies that forced corporations to raise their prices in the first place.
Yeah, it really it shows this complete just feeling that the people are stupid. I mean, that we don't actually understand what goes on. Look at these numbers. Consumer prices are up 17.5% since Biden walked into the Oval Office. Gasoline up 28%. Credit card debt 40% higher. And when you look at other things like food, it's up also in the double digits. Rebecca.
Yeah, Maria, I mean, I think people that's what people know. That's what they're talking about when they're going to go to the voting. And, you know, if you look at the New York Times poll, 11 of those people literally said they would pick Trump over Biden, even though they necessarily didn't like him, just because 12 out of 13 people said they were going to vote because of the prices at the grocery store. Like, it wasn't inflation, it wasn't thing. They said specifically prices at the grocery store. So I think that this administration has a problem because their record is economically, from my perspective, extremely abysmal. The border policy is abysmal. We now have almost on the verge of 3 wars because China and Taiwan, that situation is happening there, because this administration is so weak economically, from a border crisis, from a global perspective, that we can't, all they can do is try to convince us that what our eyes are telling us is not true.
Yeah.
They lie and lie and lie to us.
And one of the first messages, I think, for our adversaries was the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. And that really sparked China, Russia, and others to really get on the march against America. China's been undermining America ever since.